your knees, your back.
The shoe is called TO Reset. Here's Scintillate CEO Ben Weiss.
What we're doing now is we're introducing an incredibly exciting new category to footwear, recovery by sport, with the pickleball recovery shoe, the TO Reset shoe. This is the first of its kind product that is developed around all the ways that you move with lateral motion in pickleball.
Owen says recovery is vital to performance, and performance starts with your feet. 3D customized TO Resets could get your recovery off on the right foot. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 101.7 FM and 1510 AM, W269 DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
He steps to the mic with a boom ping ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom ping ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom ping ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Friday, July 24th, 2026. On today's program, I am going to inundate you with information. It's going to be all sorts of stuff we're going to talk about. First and foremost, I want to give you guys proper protocol and instruction from an individual who I would consider a professional in the regards of law enforcement. Someone who is ex-law enforcement, then turned defense attorney. It's a very unique set of professional credentials, ladies and gentlemen, because they have been on the essentially the prosecution and execution of the law side, the law enforcement officer, a cop, but then also as a defense attorney, defending individuals who have had police interactions, who have been arrested, who are on their way to a prosecution. So this individual is uniquely qualified to give the unambiguous instructions of what you are supposed to do, because there's a problem with individuals that watch too much damn TikTok. You watch too much Instagram. You see too many of these videos, and you see these interactions that people have with the police. Not all of those are real encounters, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe some of them are, but some of them very well could be staged. And you see these people just pretending that they are a roadside lawyer, and they're challenging the cop, and they're trying to stall out the proceedings, and they want to see a supervisor, and they want to ask for a badge number. You don't need to do all of that. When you have an interaction with law enforcement, and some of this is going to be in response to Corey Ruiz, and I'm going to provide some information on that case as well, because I think it's useful and it's relevant to the larger conversation that we're going to have today. And we titled the show, License and Registration, Please. It's too difficult to control for when someone out in public, out on the street, has interaction with law enforcement, because those variables are numerous. What did you do? Did you impose yourself? Are you not following police orders? Are you protesting? There's a whole bunch of different things if you're just out walking around in the streets and you have that kind of encounter with law enforcement. But when you are in a motor vehicle, there's some things that you all need to understand. There's some rules that you simply have to follow. You can't always argue. You cannot push back. And I don't think that you want to do those things, with the hope being none of you get killed by the police unnecessarily. Because I know that whenever we have an officer involved shooting, us blacks, we get very nervous because we just know we're going to get killed by the police. Even though I can honestly say that if you were listening to this program right now, let me take race out of it for a moment. Don't worry, I'll put race back in it. But if you were listening to this program right now, I got good news for you. And you deserve some good news in your life, don't you? Xavier says, yes, I deserve some good news. Xavier, you are actually included in what I'm about to say. Got some good news for everybody. If you are listening to this program right now, maybe you're in your car, maybe you're at the gym. Some of you have large backs. You want your backs to be smaller. Some of you are driving in your vehicles. Some of you are laying in bed nude, kicking your feet up, listening to me on the 101.7.com app, or on YouTube. Wherever you're listening to me, you have never been shot by the police. Isn't that fantastic? Well, I take that back. Some of you have been shot, but they didn't kill you. So look at that. Starting off your Friday and beginning your weekend with some really, really good news. So I personally believe that some of the paranoia and the panic that oftentimes ensues when we see an officer-involved shooting applies to people that will legally, legitimately, and statistically never be shot and killed by the police. So thank your lucky stars for that. There's another bit of information I'm going to throw in here just to give some perspective. And I got to make sure that I'm being objective with the information I'm going to provide you, because I'm going to provide you some additional information that's going to make a bunch of you very angry. I'm going to play with your emotions today. Consider me a toxic boyfriend today. Because I'm going to play with your emotions. I'm going to take you all around the world and up and down and left and right and liberal and progressive and conservative and evangelical. I'm going to take you all over the place. We're going to ride today, Jack. On-duty law enforcement kill, roughly, on average, about 1,000 civilians per year. Some of that absolutely is justified. Some not so much. Some is quite ambiguous, but 1,000, this is the average. It can fluctuate, but it's about 1,000 people per year. That statistic does not apply to, say, off-duty law enforcement or ex-law enforcement, being that you're retired, like if Dr. Ken shot somebody. Shout out to Dr. Ken. I talked to him yesterday. He's doing okay, if anybody is wondering. He also has a YouTube channel. Go follow Dr. Ken. He's at Dr. Ken's Truth. He broadcasts Monday through Thursday until 5 p.m. So go give him a like on his YouTube channel. So roughly 1,000 people per year, law enforcement will kill. This doesn't even include when they shoot people and don't kill them. This is homicides. And homicide is not necessarily a crime. It is when one human being kills another human being. So 1,000, okay? Us, you and me, people, civilians, Americans, citizens, people that are in this country for whatever reason, legally, lawfully, whatever the case may be, we kill 20,000 people a year. So there's a little bit of a difference. But I think that we believe in our heart of hearts that the police are not supposed to kill anybody. We believe that they're just supposed to protect and serve, and they're always supposed to de-escalate because that's what they are supposed to do. I think that there's some variation in these situations because a lot of times de-escalation is not possible, yet we put that undue burden on law enforcement. And if you've ever been into an argument with someone or a disagreement, sometimes even if you are the one to de-escalate, sometimes your attempts to de-escalate, this is just in personal interactions amongst human beings, because I want us to be mindful of those kind of interactions and then keep them in mind when we have interaction with law enforcement. Some people you cannot de-escalate with. In fact, they will push back on your attempts to subdue them or to calm them down or to remedy and mitigate the situation. They will respond by continuing to escalate. So I just want folks to know there's a lot of nuance in some of these situations. But here's the good news for you. None of you have been killed by the police. The police kill about 1,000 people per year. Bad news is you are much more likely to get murdered by your spouse or your friend or your neighbor or a random stranger that is not actually law enforcement. So they are still relatively rare incidents, considering you probably have more firearms in the United States than you have people, and there's literally no way to track how many guns we have in this country. Some guns are not licensed, some are not registered, some are of a particular status where they don't need to be licensed and registered, some are heirlooms and antiques, some are ghost guns, some are guns that are 3D printed. Last estimate I saw that was reasonably credible is there's something like 400 million guns in the United States. That number is likely double, but considering we may have as many as nearly 1 billion guns in the United States, because some people have 20 and 30 and 40 and 72 guns. You know, the doomsday preppers. You know, the people that have many canned goods. The people whose house you want to go to if World War III ever starts, because they've been planning for World War III essentially since they were adults. You know, they have the cellar with all of the canned goods because they're self-sustained in case we have global thermonuclear war. Considering we have nearly potentially high-end 1 billion guns in this country, and only 20,000 people are getting shot. Like, statistically, 20,000 is a lot. But compared to 1 billion guns, right, we could kill everybody 3 times over in this country with all the firearms that we have. So I just wanted to provide that information. So here's what we're going to do. I got a lot of information to cover. Today is going to be one of those days where I don't know if 3 hours is enough. And if I have to, I'll take an hour from the lunch break. What are they going to do? What's Shannon going to do? She lives in Vegas. We just won't turn on the computer that she broadcasts from. What's she going to do? Call in? What do you say, X?
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. Because you get paid either way.
Exactly.
Okay, then. So I got a lot of information I'm going to share with you. I do want to, I got some tenant information. If you're a renter and you have a repair request that you have submitted to your landlord or to apartment management, you actually have some legal protections, and there are certain things that your landlord or the property owner or the property manager, they have to repair these things in a legally prescribed amount of time. So I want to share that with you. I got some details on Corey Ruiz that I want to share with you. Here's what's crazy. He was homeless, but all of a sudden, here comes his family getting attorney Benjamin Crump. Make it make sense. Oh, I love how I know I don't love it, but it's just it's ironic and hypocritical. A person that no one cares about at all in society, including their family, they throw them out of the house. Maybe they have addiction problems or drug issues, and the person is homeless, but then when they get killed by the police, now all of a sudden the family is mourning their loss and about to sue the city of Madison. Come on, y'all. Like, I'm not speaking for everybody. But nobody in my family is going to be homeless as long as I have a home. Because I know what happens to homeless people. We hate them. We do. And also keeping in mind that African Americans are, on a good day, we're 14% of the U.S. population, but black men are almost 40% of the homeless population in this country. And so we can devalue black men because, black man. But then also if he is homeless, we can put that on him that he lacks responsibility. He's probably a drug addict or an alcoholic, etc. And we got to be honest, some lives are just worth less. I know you're not supposed to say that. That's probably anti-biblical, but you guys know that. Some people are just valued less. So we're going to share some information with you today. You're going to like some of it. You're going to hate some of it, but you will be better because of it. Title of today's program is License and Registration. And one more thing I'm going to share with you before I take the break. I say I'm taking a break and I just keep talking. I got to stop that. I need to be more accurate. I try to provide examples and illustrate and demonstrate of what racism actually is, because most people, we know what it is, we know what it feels like, we know what it is when we see it, but it's really hard to define it academically and get people to actually understand it. I have found, and I've been doing this for years, just giving different examples of how institutions and structures are biased against people. And they can be biased against women, they can be biased against people of different sexual orientations, but race obviously is where these structures and these institutions learned their bias. I have found the single most racially discriminatory, racially biased set of structures that have ever existed, and it has flown completely under the radar. And I found it this morning in all of the years of reading and research and all of the stories and the articles and the scholarly journals and all the stuff that people have sent me. People have sent me their master's theses and their doctoral dissertations, all the stuff that you guys send me. Thank you to some of you. No thank you to others, because some of you send me pictures and I don't want to see your nipples. Unless I ask. Okay? If I ask you, that's different. But in all of what I have received and all I have read and all the conversations that we have enjoyed, I have found the single most solidly racially biased institution. It's so a part of American culture that we don't even realize it. It's like a bombshell, what I'm going to reveal to you. And I hope I can get to it because I got a lot of information I'm going to cover. We got a banger coming your way today. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, and I'm exclusively on 101.7 The Truth in Milwaukee. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative,
and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Who was Corey Ruiz? Madison officials name man killed in deadly police shooting, and the protests are continuing in Madison, and it's usually situations like this where a couple of things happen because we're used to it. It happens not necessarily all the time or every day, but there is a consistency to officer-involved shootings where it's kind of ambiguous and we don't know all of the details, and of course there's no body camera footage, so we just default to the setting that all cops are bastards and they kill people that they shouldn't kill, and they're terrible, and we have to either defund the police or we've got to reform law enforcement. But then you have all of the protests and all of the very high emotions, and I get it, and raise tensions and anxiety in that community that is affected. And of course, black people are particularly nervous because we just connect the dots: white cop, black and or brown person. Oh no, we're going to be next. Let's panic. I am concerned about the scammers that take advantage of these moments, because whenever people are in heightened states of emotion, I can say that about the body politic right now in the United States. People are anxious and they're nervous, and things are too expensive, and gas is costing too much, and groceries haven't come down, and Donald Trump said all of these things when he was running for re-election about how expensive eggs were when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were the president and vice president. Things have actually gotten worse under him. And then you have other folks that are losing their jobs are being downsized, and you got folks who are concerned about data centers coming into their communities and taking up their land and their natural resources, and you have all of this panic. And what the Trump campaign did is they took advantage of how scared some people are, and he promised a whole bunch of things. None of these things are going to come to fruition. In fact, if you can just convince people that you will make their lives better, they will give you a tremendous amount of latitude. And so when you have an officer-involved shooting, you'll have people that will take advantage of the moment. They're going to steal the spotlight. They're the loudest ones on the bullhorns and the megaphones, and they promote themselves as an activist because what they are doing is they're using the moment in which people are scared and they are nervous and they are anxious, and they put themselves front and center. And it happens every single time. Whenever you have vulnerable people in this country, I need you all to be mindful of this. We got to make sure that we're protecting vulnerable folks here because they'll fall for anything. It's why every so often you see these news stories about these people they'll scam the elderly. You know, they call the old folks and, oh, hey, give me your social security number, old person, and I'll make sure your Medicaid payments go up. And then all of a sudden these folks are losing their entire life savings. So whenever somebody is vulnerable, there's somebody who's going to take advantage, including when there is an officer-involved shooting. When communities, particularly communities of color, are scared and are nervous, then all of a sudden people just show up and they appoint themselves activists. Now, they're not going to be better than Tory Lowe because he's the most requested advocate in the state. So don't try to out-advocate Tory. But please be mindful of those folks that want to take advantage of the attention that a tragedy can bring, and people that come out of nowhere you've never seen before, you've never heard before. They have zero established credibility in said city or in said community, but now they're the ones leading the marches and the protests. You need to be as suspicious of them as you are of the cops. Please keep your head on a swivel. The city of Madison leaders identified a man shot and killed by a Madison Police Department officer on Thursday. The name Corey Ruiz is written across multiple signs, chalk messages, and photos left at the intersection of Williamson Street and Baldwin Streets in Madison. City officials said during a press conference on Thursday that Ruiz was homeless and had a child. Publicly available court records show Ruiz had a lengthy history with law enforcement, including charges of theft, obstructing an officer, and battery. I'm going to give you more detail than that, but let me level set here. I am not trying to diminish the credibility of a human being who lost their life to law enforcement, but I'm going to tell you about who he is. Because if you are concerned about this situation, and likely you are, or at least you've heard of it and you have some kind of interest in it, and if there are people who are yelling and screaming and chanting, "Say his name," Well, let's find out exactly who he is. Because if I get shot and killed by the police, who I am will be a part of the story about how I got shot and killed by the police. And I just want to be fair here and give you the details of who Mr. Ruiz actually is. And there's a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm not justifying what happened to him. It absolutely could have been prevented. And if we can learn from this, including learning about, I'm going to call him the victim, if we can learn about him, and if we can learn more about law enforcement and practices and policies, I think we will be better for it. I'm a little disappointed that the still crowded gubernatorial field is not offering policy solutions to this. I'm troubled by that, because here's another opportunity for the many people that are running for governor to engage a community that I think could be likely voters if those candidates were talking about an issue that is striking an emotional chord with a lot of Wisconsinites, but particularly Wisconsinites of color. But the fact that these candidates, including the governor himself, they've given statements, but they are not offering any kind of a solution. Even if the solution is far-fetched and difficult to accomplish, at least they're saying, hey, if I become the executive of the state of Wisconsin, here's where I'm going to put some effort and some emphasis into making sure that the public is better informed, law enforcement is better trained, et cetera, et cetera. Corey Darrell Ruiz, also referred to as Corey Ruiz, age 38, was fatally shot by a Madison, Wisconsin police officer on July 22, 2026 at the intersection of Williamson Street and South Baldwin Street on Madison's Near East Side. Police responded to reports of someone checking parked cars / vehicles and possibly stealing bikes in the Williamson Street neighborhood. Ruiz fled on a bike, was pursued, and a struggle ensued with multiple officers. He was tased, taken to the ground, and reportedly pulled a fixed blade knife, injuring one officer who was hospitalized and released. One officer then fired multiple shots at close range. Bystander videos show shots into his head, face area while he was on the ground. The incident is under investigation as a homicide by the Wisconsin Division of Criminal Investigation. Officers involved are on leave. The Madison Police Department does not equip officers with body cameras. That's probably going to change. Protesters, a vigil, and criticisms followed, with some community members and Ruiz's family, represented by attorney Ben Crump. Here comes Ben Crump again. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like Ben Crump showing up at every single one of. I don't like it. Is he the only one? Does he have the monopoly on when a black person gets killed by the police? I just something about it just. Age and background, 38 years old, in his 30s, longtime Madison resident, community member, attended Whitehorse Middle School and La Follette High School. Corey Ruiz, described by friends as a fun-loving, quote, a human being that had some struggles. If my friends describe me as a human being, after I die, if that's how you describe me, I'm going to come back and haunt you. Described by friends as a fun-loving human being with struggles and someone who had demons but was non-confrontational in their experience. Now, remember, I'm just providing you background on the individual who lost their life to Madison law enforcement. This is publicly available information. I want to share it with you. Because if we're going to talk about it, let's talk about all of it, okay? Family. He was a father, had at least one child. Reports mention a daughter who spoke at a vigil and references to kids/family. A son with family and loved ones who mourned him. Relatives attended the vigils. Housing and health. He was, in fact, homeless at the time of the incident. Friends and officials noted struggles with homelessness and mental health issues. race/ethnicity, identified variably in records as Black or Latino. Ruiz had a lengthy and well-documented criminal history in Wisconsin, with public court records showing dozens of convictions. Now, I'm not discrediting him. I'm just telling the story. Now, don't get mad at me. Key details from reports on Wisconsin Circuit Court records say 40 misdemeanor and felony convictions and charges from around 2007 to 2009 through 2025. Felonies, 12 mentioned, including robbery by force, strangulation, suffocation, battery or threat to a judge, prosecutor, law enforcement, and public safety worker, taking a vehicle without consent, resisting/obstructing an officer, causing bodily harm or substantial injury, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, theft, including retail theft, bikes and vehicles, drug possession, drug paraphernalia possession, failure to pay child support, bail jumping, invasion of privacy. Most recently convicted in 2024 of resisting, obstructing an officer, and drug paraphernalia misdemeanors. He was released on community supervision May 19, 2026, but listed as, quote, absconded at the time of the shooting. Earlier 2021 felony convictions for resisting arrest and causing harm and threat to police led to prison time. This guy resisted arrest routinely, got arrested for it, and had a criminal conviction for it. I'm not saying that what happened was justified, but there was a habitual pattern of him committing the offense that ultimately got him killed. I'm going to take a break, come back, provide a few more details, and also I want to give you step-by-step, bullet-pointed instructions of how you are to act and interact when you have an encounter with law enforcement, when you are in a motor vehicle. I cannot give the same step-by-step bullet point instructions when you are encountered by law enforcement on the street, because there are so many other variables to take into account. But when you are driving a vehicle on public roads in the state of Wisconsin, the police have protocols, rules, and laws that they have to follow, but so do we as motorists. And I'm going to share those with you so we can all be unambiguous in how those encounters are supposed to go. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Versity on King, we believe taking care of our community starts right here, together. Every day, neighbors step up to donate blood, helping save lives in Milwaukee and beyond. But Versity on King is more than a donor center. It's a place for health education, community connection, and support, especially for families facing conditions like sickle cell disease. When you donate blood, you're not just giving, you're showing up for your community. Visit versity.org/VersityOnKing to learn more or schedule your donation today. Versity on King, rooted in community, powered by hope.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Spaces are limited. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkeprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Did you sleep on the wrong side? I'm catching a bad vibe, and it's contagious. What's the latest? Speak your heart, don't bite your tongue. Don't get it twisted, don't misuse it. What's your problem? Let's resolve. We can
12 felonies mentioned, including robbery by force, strangulation, suffocation, battery or threat to a judge, prosecutor, law enforcement, public safety worker. Corey Ruiz, convicted of taking a vehicle without consent, resisting, obstructing an officer, causing bodily harm or substantial injury. And what I'm trying to illustrate with this, and I'm not justifying him being killed, but if you resist arrest enough times continuously and you get convicted for it and you have a felony for it, eventually they're going to kill you. I don't care if you agree with that or not. If you resist arrest enough times, because you don't know what officer you're resisting at the time. You have no idea. But if you have a felony conviction for resisting arrest, been sentenced for it, and you continue to do it, you can't do that forever. They're going to kill you. And I also we don't know yet what the relationship with the officer that fired the weapon, because a lot of times, like when you have somebody as habitual, I think I maybe got through half of his rap sheet. 40 criminal charges, 12 felonies, 20-something misdemeanors. And I'm not doing this to justify him losing his life, but he was convicted of doing things that sometimes can get you killed. And if you commit a particular type of offense like resisting arrest, if you do it enough times, time is going to run out. And it seemed like that is what happened. But a lot of times when you have somebody who is known homeless and he had some drug problems, God bless this fella, and he had some struggles. He was unhoused at the time as well, which never helps. A lot of times police know who these people are because they get calls because he's broken into cars, he's stolen cars, he was checking door handles of vehicles to see which vehicles were unlocked. He allegedly stole the bike that he was on that he used to flee from the police. But another part of the hypocrisy that exists in situations like this is a lot of the people that probably showed up to the vigils, they were the saddest, called the police on them before. Oh, don't think that don't happen. People are like, oh, I used to see him all the time, and he used to be a nuisance and a disturbance, and he'd be in public, and he would be doing this, and I'd call the police. But I didn't mean for the police to kill him. I mean, kind of. A little bit. A little bit. When you call the police on somebody, there's a thought in the back of your mind that maybe this interaction might go left. If I'm calling the police on this person, there might be a struggle. There might be some resisting arrest. You have to consider that when you do call the police on someone who's being a nuisance and or a menace. And I'm not trying to justify, and I know people did this with George Floyd. They talked about how bad of a person he was, and it didn't justify George Floyd's death. But if you have multiple criminal convictions for the thing that ultimately got you killed, it just goes to show that you can only get away with certain things, certain crimes, and certain offenses, and get away with your life for so long. Like if somebody resists arrest from the time they're 18 until they're 70, in one of those instances between the ages of 18 and 70, you might get the wrong cop on the wrong day. And also, we don't know what the relationship is between this individual and the law enforcement officer that shot Mr. Ruiz, but there's a high likelihood that they probably knew who he was. And maybe, just maybe, one of the four officers that were there on the scene could have been an officer that had a resistance encounter with him prior to. This history is publicly available via Wisconsin court records, searches. Friends and advocates emphasize he was, quote, more than his rap sheet and had been successfully detained in the past without lethal force. All information came from news reports, official statements, court records, summaries, public vigils, and protests as of July 24, 2026. Investigations are ongoing. So some details including full toxicology, exact sequence may evolve. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You're driving along in your automobile. You see the red and blue lights in your rearview mirror. And we've all seen them. You're looking in your rearview mirror and you're thinking to yourself, ha! Some sucker's about to get pulled over, and you just continue driving. And then you look around and you realize that you're the sucker. And of course, you are now going to be involved in a traffic stop. There are rules that the law enforcement officer must follow. And then there are rules and protocols that you, as a motorist, also must follow. First and foremost, stop with the sovereign citizen stuff. Get off the internet with that. I'm a free human being. I do not require identification to move freely in the United States. Shut up. If you are on public roads and you have the privilege of owning an automobile or driving an automobile or renting an automobile or leasing an automobile or borrowing an automobile on public roads, you are required by state law to present valid license and registration for that vehicle. Now, in Wisconsin, you do not have to produce a separate registration document because your license plate and your sticker of year is your registration. So the registration of the vehicle is run while the officer is behind you. When you get pulled over, you do have to produce a valid driver's license, and you have to have the actual license on your person. Very few exceptions. I have been pulled over without my license. I left the house in a hurry. I was speeding. I get pulled over. I did not have my wallet, which contained my license. A little bit of panic because now I'm having an interaction with this officer. He's asking for my license, and I was in my 20s at the time, and I knew by law I had to provide it. And I panicked a little bit because I didn't have it. My only saving grace was I know my driver's license number by heart. Now, that cop still could have given me a ticket for failure to produce my driver's license, but he said, if you know your driver's license number, I will take that information from you, and I'll be able to run all the information I need to run. And I paused for a moment, and I started H22079, and he's like, wait a minute, slow down, say it again, because he didn't believe. I think when that cop pulled me over, he thought he pulled over an idiot. I'm dumb, but I ain't stupid. You know what I mean? I'm ignorant, but I'm not faulty. So I gave him my driver's license number. He said, okay, I'll be right back. But don't think that you can be in a motor vehicle operating it without the actual physical license, but it's good to know your driver's license number. And also, it's a good piece of information to know by heart, just like your social security number. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a break, come back. And at the top of the next segment, I'm going to give you the step-by-step guide of how to handle a traffic stop presented by an individual who was former law enforcement. So they had experience doing the pulling over. But then after a career in law enforcement, they became a defense attorney, then defending individuals who were pulled over by the police, and ultimately attempted at prosecuting individuals for a whole bunch of different things. So this is a very experienced individual. I'm going to give you the step-by-step instructions of what you need to do. So we don't want you to get shot by the police. I don't want you to. I want you to enjoy Christmas, and birthdays. And Black History Month. Because if you get shot by the police, your Black History Month is going to suck. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be able to listen to 101.7 The Truth. So we're going to prevent you from getting shot by the police, I hope, with the step-by-step instructions I'm going to give you on how you act and how you interact with the popo when you get pulled over. And also, don't be drinking a 40 ounce of malt liquor. They don't like that. When you're driving and they pull you over and you got a 40 up to your mouth, it's rude. That's not how you're supposed to do things. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flySSHF.org and ask for an application.
Ready to take it back? Join the grand debut of Analog Afternoons at 90s 2K Cafe on Sunday, July 26th, starting at 2. Music kicks off at 4 p.m. with the Cat House Band and DJ Seymour bringing you the biggest hits from the 90s and 2000s. Grab a signature Bloody or a Sunny D Mosa Tower and get jiggy with DJ Saint Trey with special guest host appearance by Action Jackson. 90s 2K Cafe, 1103 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Milwaukee. Come press play on your Sunday fun day.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way, improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds. Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Former law enforcement officer turned defense attorney. The goal of a traffic stop is to protect your safety, preserve your legal rights, and avoid making the situation more difficult than necessary. I know that's the hard part for some of y'all. Some of y'all, like, your whole life is set up to make everything as difficult as possible. Every disagreement, every inconvenience has got to be an all-out crisis. There are some people that are built that way just by personality. You are the kind of people that should have very limited interaction with law enforcement. If your personality is one of just being argumentative for the sake of being argumentative, please don't speed and don't drive recklessly, because we don't need someone like you and your personality having unnecessary interactions with law enforcement, because at some point they might kick your ass. They might. Just don't. Observe the rules of the road, first and foremost. All right, here we go. Before the officer reaches your vehicle, pull over safely. Use your turn signal, slow down gradually, pull into a safe, well-lit area if possible. It is generally acceptable to drive a short distance to a safer location while signaling your intention to stop. Let me give you another little tip that is not listed in this particular article that you can legally and lawfully do. If you do not feel safe pulling over where this officer is now instructing and signaling you to do so. Like it might be on the side of a road and you might want to get to maybe an exit, or you might want to go to a well-lit area. Because remember, your safety is important. And also, believe it or not, you do want to be in an area where there's witnesses, because them cameras going to come out, okay? So if something happens, you want them angles. You want them cameras, okay? If you are not immediately pulling over, so even though you put your turn signal on, which indicates to the officer that you're acknowledging him or her, that they are about to effectuate a traffic stop, if you do not feel safe and or comfortable pulling over anywhere in the near vicinity, here's what you do. Call 911. Well, hold on, listen to me. Listen now. Call 911 and say, hey, I am being pulled over by a law enforcement officer. I want to have a documented record that I do plan to comply. I just don't feel safe being pulled over where we are. I'm going to drive a short distance. Please let the officer know that I am not trying to flee. Boom, you just saved yourself a fleeing case. Because that now becomes a part of the record where you gave your intention. You call 911 because they answer the phone. You call the police station, you might get a recording. Well, that might send you to the voicemails. Call 911 and you tell them, I am not attempting to flee. I am looking for a safer place to pull over. Please dispatch to the officer. You know what they're going to say? 10-4, good buddy, or whatever they say. Now you're covered. Now you can pull over to a place that's safer, that's well lit, and hopefully a place where there are other people, because you want as many cameras on the interaction as possible. Use your turn signal, slow down gradually, pull into a safe, well-lit area if possible. It is generally acceptable to drive a short distance to a safer location while signaling your intention to stop. Turn off the engine. Roll down the driver's window. I suggest you roll down all of your windows so that the officer does, especially if it's at night, so the officer doesn't have to guess who else or what else may be in that vehicle. I drive a vehicle that has tinted windows, and somebody texted yesterday, oh, Sherwin's damn near 60 years old, driving around a vehicle with tint. You damn right. Need you looking in my car. I don't know why you would drive a vehicle without tinted windows. Sometimes we don't want to look in your car and see you. And first of all, I'm not almost 60, you jerk off, whoever that person was. Turn on the interior light if it's nighttime. Keep both of your hands visible and on the steering wheel. You get pulled over at night, they're going to have that big old flashlight, that searchlight on you. You start fidgeting, they're going to think you're hiding something, and that officer is going to be on the ready. Listen to how important this is. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. They are watching your hands intensely. And also, people can be very nervous. And people do weird stuff when they're nervous, but this is a protocol that I am urging you to follow. People have gotten shot because the officer will say repeatedly, let me see your hands. And failure to comply with that. Keep both hands visible and on the steering wheel. Passengers should keep their hands visible as well. Note to the passenger, you do not have any legal obligation to identify yourself at all to that law enforcement officer, because you are not the one being pulled over and you are not the one operating that motor vehicle. You don't have to say a single word. You don't have to entertain that police officer at all. They can ask the passenger a bunch of questions. They can ask the passenger to produce ID. You do not need to identify yourself if you were riding as a passenger in a motor vehicle. Just sit there and look cute. Because that's all some of you know how to do anyway. Some of y'all is worthless. All you know how to do is look cute. And for some reason, them is the ones that I date. Ain't worth nothing, Xavier, but just sitting there and looking cute. Do not begin reaching for your license or registration until instructed, unless they are already easily accessible. I oftentimes, when I know I'm getting pulled over, I am reaching for my driver's license, getting my wallet out, and having my license ready so I don't have to do the reaching when the officer approaches the vehicle. My windows are already rolled down. My interior lights are already on. This shows a level of cooperation. And here's what I want to do in this situation. I want to reduce a couple of things. My likelihood of getting shot in the face, because my face is very pretty. I want to reduce my own anxiety by knowing I have a set of rules and protocols to follow. And I want to increase the anxiety, or decrease rather, the anxiety of the police officer, because you don't want a nervous cop, because nervous cops, they shoot. Also, give some respect to the fact that routine traffic stops are never routine. They're never routine. You never know. Just look at you ever go to the DMV? I'm always shocked when I have to go to the DMV. And by the way, I hate going to the DMV. If you see me at the DMV, something went wrong. Okay? And you go to the DMV, and at least it's more professional and more orderly than it used to be, because the DMV back in the 90s, it looked like the worst Walmart you've ever seen, plus a teen takeover, because, the teens are there getting their driver's permits and their license tests. It was the worst. There'd be gunshots. There's blood on the walls. There's children crying. There's just random, hair weaves on the ground. It was really bad. So at least they've cleaned up the procedures at the DMV. But then if you look around at the people that are there, you're like, we share the road with you? Like, oh my, look at you, sir. Sir, where are your shoes? It's just a bunch of weird people at the DMV. I just don't, it's a bunch of Democratic socialists are there. No, they're not. No, of course, because they don't have driver's licenses.
They're buying it online.
Take a break, come back, continue giving you the protocols that you need to follow to prevent yourself from getting shot in the face. You want to reduce the officer's anxiety and your anxiety. You want to make this traffic stop go as smoothly as possible and have it be over as quickly as possible without you getting a damn attitude and yelling and screaming and causing a ruckus. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Natural gas is a clean, reliable, and convenient source of energy delivered directly to you through underground pipelines. The pipeline system has an excellent safety record, but there are clues that can help you identify a potential hazard. If you smell the strong odor of rotten eggs, hear an unusual hissing sound, or see blowing dirt or debris, it could be a natural gas leak. Leave the area immediately and call We Energies at 800-261-5325.
We Energies. People you can trust. Energy you can depend on.
At UW-Milwaukee, students don't have to wait until college to start building their future. Roar Ready lets students K through 12th grade join in hands-on programs across campus. From science and tech to arts, sports, and more, students try new things, meet new people, and build skills that matter. Programs are led by UW-Milwaukee faculty, staff, and current students. And it's easy to register online. Get started today at uwm.edu/roarready. UW-Milwaukee. Roar Ready. Your child's future starts here.
Are you looking for a place to shop that offers a fair market price? You need to visit Century Food Store on 92nd and Lisbon Avenue. This week, buy boneless top sirloin steak, $8.99 a pound. Essential everyday purified water, 2 for $7. Frito-Lay baked snacks, dipper salsa, 2 for $6. 1 pound of sweet strawberries, $3.49. Minute Maid zero sugar drinks or Gold Peak tea, 2 for $5. And Stone Ridge Creamery ice cream sandwiches, $3.99. So what you waiting for? You can also order groceries through DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Instacart, or stop by Century Foods at 92nd and Lisbon Avenue today.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey. When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 1017 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, going through a very detailed checklist of protocols and procedures that you should follow if you are a motorist and you're being pulled over by law enforcement. And there are some individuals that want to take that opportunity to express their grievances and to be argumentative and to try and get themselves out of whatever the infraction is by playing lawyer on the side of the road. And what I will say to you is you are stupid, because the likelihood you are going to shout the officer down on the side of the road and then expect to be let off with a warning, all you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot. Now, there's no guarantee you're going to get off with a warning, but being courteous and being polite and trying to reduce the overall anxiety of the situation is just the best course of action. But I get some of you are just angry people. You're just mad all the time. You're mad at the world. You're mad at this person and that person, and you don't want to listen to the police officer. Well, there's nothing we can do to help you, and, well, you probably are earning whatever consequences you are going to get. But for everybody else, let's just try and follow the rules. Now, here's the other thing. You also cannot account for who that officer is and how they are going to behave. You can only be responsible for your actions and your behavior. Okay? When the officer approaches, number one, this is the toughest, be polite. Some of you just don't know how to be polite. Speak calmly. Avoid arguing. Do not make jokes about, why would they list this? Do people actually do this? It says, do not make jokes about guns, drugs, warrants, or anything illegal. So that needs to be stated. So when you're getting pulled over, don't make any jokes about guns, drugs, warrants, or anything illegal, and avoid sudden movements. If asked for your license, registration, and insurance, you can say, quote, certainly, my license is in my wallet and my registration is in the glove compartment. Is it okay if I reach for them? This tells the officer exactly what you are intending to do. If asked, do you know why I pulled you over? This is one of the most common investigative questions, because right now you are, in fact, under investigation. Please proceed accordingly. Defense attorneys always recommend not guessing or admitting to a violation. The polite response to, do you know why I pulled you over? Is no, officer, or I'm not sure. They are the ones that have to prove and illustrate and demonstrate probable cause to pull you over. Don't volunteer information, because some of y'all get pulled over, get asked by the cop because maybe you're anxious and you're nervous. Cop will ask you, do you know why I pulled you over? Yes, because I rolled that stop sign back there. Guess what? He didn't see you roll the stop sign. He got you for speeding. But guess what, genius? Now you're getting a 6-point ticket for rolling the stop sign. Don't do that. Don't give them more information than they need. Avoid responses like, yeah, I was speeding. I rolled through that stop sign. I knew I shouldn't have done that, so don't say any of those things. If asked, do you know how fast you were going? This one is kind of tricky because technically you are supposed to be aware of the posted speed limit, but you do not want to admit to how fast you were going. Because if they have you on radar going 45 in a 35, but you say, oh, I was going 50. Now you just admitted to going 50 miles an hour. You just incriminated yourself. Now you're going to get a ticket for 15 over instead of maybe a warning for 10 over. Avoid statements like, oh, I was probably going 80. Or avoid statements like, I was going 15 miles per hour over the speed limit. Don't do that. Y'all be snitching on yourselves. If you snitch on yourself, I know you would snitch on your friend. Bunch of snitches. If asked, oh, I love this one. Where are you going? Hey, where are you headed tonight? This is a tricky one. Remember, you are under investigation when you are getting pulled over, and you may not necessarily know why you are under investigation. You do not want to give additional details that will build this case. When you are asked by a police officer where you are going, this question is usually conversational and or investigative. And real good cops will say it in a very nice tone. Like, hey, how are you? Yeah, nice night out here. Hey, where are you headed tonight? Where are you going? You were, because you want to be polite, you were inclined to answer. Don't. That cop is still a stranger. If a stranger came up to you on the street and said, hey, where are you going? You wouldn't tell them. You are not required to explain your travel plans during an ordinary traffic stop, though requirements can vary in specific situations or jurisdictions. You have several options. Number one, I'd prefer not to answer any questions. Or number two, you can say, I'm on my way home. I wouldn't even say that. Or number three, I'd rather not discuss my travel plans. When you say any of those things, then the cop knows that you are somewhat versed in your legal right when it comes to answering that question. If you are asked, where are you coming from? Same principle. I prefer not to answer any questions, or I prefer not to discuss my travel plans. Here's another one. This is where a lot of y'all get caught up at. In fact, let me get a sip of coffee before we get into this next little piece. Hang on a second. It's actually a little bit more involved and complicated than most people believe, because it's an exercise in academic criminal justice and how you, as a resident, as a citizen, as a motorist, as a licensed, legitimate, legal motorist, are to act and interact with law enforcement, because the roads are, in fact, governed by law, municipal law and state law, even federal law. So there are protocols that you have to follow, and all this stuff is in the larger view of criminal justice. If you have been asked, have you had anything to drink? Well. Oh, and they're going to ask you, especially if you have an I closed Walski's bumper sticker on your car. If you have consumed alcohol, avoid making false statements. You should also be aware that your answers to this question, have you had anything to drink, can and will have legal consequences. If you choose not to answer, you should say, quote, I prefer not to answer any questions. Here's what some of y'all do. Cop comes up, hey, how are you? Where are you headed? I'm going to another bar. I'm going to Silk Exotic. Don't tell them where you're going. And then the next question they're going to ask you, because now you're cooperating with their questions. Have you had anything to drink tonight? Well, I only had a couple of beers. Admission of guilt. You have admitted to consuming alcohol. Because now the number of beers or drinks is irrelevant. You have admitted to consuming alcohol, and you are behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. Why would you tell them that? Have you had anything to drink tonight? If you have consumed alcohol, avoid making false statements. You should also be aware that your answers have legal consequences. If you choose not to answer, you should say, I prefer not to answer any questions, officer. If you are, in fact, suspected of impaired driving, the officer may continue the investigation regardless of your response. State laws do differ regarding chemical testing and impaired consent requirements. Legal limit in the state of Wisconsin is .08. That is not very intoxicated. In fact, most of you leave the house to go out and party higher than a .08. Please be mindful. If asked, can I search your vehicle? This is one of the most important moments during a traffic stop. If the officer is asking for consent, they are requesting your permission. You may decline. A recommended response is, I do not consent to any searches. I'm going to say that again. I do not consent to any searches. If they've got probable cause to search your vehicle, they're not going to ask you. They're going to tell you to step out of the vehicle. If they see you rummaging around, and if they see you fidgeting around, and they see you reaching under the seat, you are giving them access and probable cause to search the vehicle because you may be hiding something. Do not say, go ahead and search if you want, officer. Don't say, I don't care if you search. And don't say, I guess so. Don't give them consent. Those statements that I just read, go ahead if you want, I don't care, and I guess, can be interpreted as consent to search your vehicle. If the officer searches anyway, do not physically interfere or argue roadside. Simply repeat, I do not consent to any searches, and let your attorney challenge the legality of the search later in court. If you are asked to step out of the vehicle, oh, this is another good one. I think I've just seen too many videos of y'all they'll break your window. I don't know if you guys know that. They will snatch you out of the car through the window. Some of you don't even fit through the window. Now you half in the car, half out the car. Your pants have come down. Your butt crack is in the air, and everybody is recording it. If they ask you to exit the vehicle, in the United States of America, officers have the legal authority to order a driver and often passengers to exit a vehicle that is lawfully stopped. You got to get out. I know you don't want to. I know you don't. Maybe you were just making a real quick run because you wanted some nuggets. You were just going to McDonald's to get some nuggets. You wanted a little 10-piece. That's all. You just need a little snack. You wanted a 10-piece and a small fry. Kidding. 10-piece and a large fry. That's all you wanted. You don't even got no pants on. You don't even have no shoes on. Now you're getting pulled over and they're asking you to step out of the vehicle. You're not wearing any pants. You're not wearing any shoes. And all you wanted was a little 10-piece and a large fry. You have to get out of the vehicle. If asked to exit the vehicle in the United States, officers generally have the legal authority to order a driver and passengers to exit a legally stopped vehicle. Simply comply. Do not argue roadside. If asked, do you have any weapons? Now, the requirements vary by state, especially if you have a concealed carry permit or are transporting firearms. Follow the appropriate state laws regarding disclosure and lawful transport. In Wisconsin, it is very, very specific. You do not have to disclose that you have a weapon in the vehicle. Now, you can volunteer that information, but legally, you do not have to. If you are not a concealed carry permit holder and you have a firearm in the vehicle, the firearm must be unloaded and cannot be in the reach of the driver or any passengers. Let's say you have a 9mm pistol, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend for stopping power. You probably want a 40 caliber or higher, preferably a 45 ACP. That'll get their mind right if you got one of those. I'm also not encouraging you guys to have guns because some of y'all are irresponsible with a cup of goddamn coffee, so you shouldn't have a gun. That firearm must be unloaded, preferably stored in a locked trunk, and if you have ammunition, that ammunition should be in the glove box. The two need to be separate. Please keep that in mind because you will catch a concealed weapons charge if you have a loaded or even unloaded weapon in the driver's purview or in the passenger purview of that vehicle. Another note to self, a bunch of y'all went to jail for this. If you are a felon of any kind, let's say you passed bad checks when you were 19 and you're 58 years old now, but you do have a felony on your record. You can't even be in a vehicle that has a firearm because you will be felon in possession. Oh, you didn't know that? Uncle Sherwin is telling you that right now. If you go to somebody's house and they have firearms in that house and you are a felon, you are felon in possession of a firearm. If you are a felon and you are borrowing somebody else's car and they didn't tell you that they got a firearm, even if it's in the trunk, even if the ammunition is locked in the glove box and you happen to be in this other person's car and you get pulled over and the police have probable cause to search that vehicle, you are a felon in possession of a firearm. Maybe if you get a good attorney, maybe you don't go to prison, but you are going to be arrested immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have felons that are friends, family members, etc., they can't be in your house if you have guns. I'm going to let you're going to have to work that out with them now. But you are putting them in legal jeopardy, and they're putting themselves in legal jeopardy. That it's a really punitive law because, like I mentioned earlier, we may have as many as 800 million guns in the United States. There's no way to know the full number because some guns are unregistered, some are untraceable, some are ghost guns, and some are 3D printed. But this is something that you need to know because I'm going to repeat this over and over again throughout the course of this program and every program I do. Ignorance is no excuse for the law. Because you didn't know it was illegal does not mean that you don't suffer the consequence. So it is imperative on us as members of the public and members of the body politic to know what is and is not legal so that we can follow appropriate laws. And we do not want to invite unwarranted contact with law enforcement. If asked, do you have any weapons? Requirements do vary by state, especially if you have a concealed carry permit and are transporting firearms. Follow local and state laws regarding disclosure and lawful transport. If you are carrying lawfully where disclosure is required, calmly inform the officer and follow instructions. Keep your hands visible. Never reach toward the weapon. There are situations where you can tell the cop, hey, I'm a concealed carry permit holder. I have my firearm in the vehicle. You know what the cop will say a lot of times? Okay, just don't reach for anything. I'll be right back. That actually can happen. Okay, all right, that's fine. All right, don't play no funny business now. But they'll just let you proceed. If you are told you are free to leave, leave calmly. Do not restart conversation with the cop. If you are being detained or arrested, remain calm. Do not resist. Clearly state, I'm invoking my right to remain silent. Then say, I would like to speak to my attorney. They leave you alone after that because they know that you know the law. After invoking these rights, avoid answering further investigative questions unless your attorney advises you to do so. Things you should never do. Reach suddenly inside the vehicle, argue with the officer, insult or threaten the officer, physically resist, lie about your identity, destroy or hide evidence, give consent to a search if you do not wish to. Best practices, pull over safely, keep your hands visible, be respectful and calm, provide required ID and vehicle documents when requested. Avoid volunteering information. Don't guess or admit violations. Politely decline consent to searches if you do not wish to consent. Comply with lawful orders such as exiting the vehicle. If arrested, invoke your right to remain silent and request an attorney. Challenge any improper police conduct later through the legal process, not on the roadside. Be careful. Good luck. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
A little confusion on the question of felons being in a home where there are firearms. So it's tricky. So they're going to arrest you, okay? If you're a felon and you're in a home visiting or living where there are firearms, you are going to get arrested, okay? Here's what has to take place. It has to be proven in court that that felon has zero access to that firearm. So the firearm can't be on the coffee table. It can't be under the couch. It can't be on the nightstand in the living room. You have to have that firearm locked up, put away with a combination that the felon does not know. And that is going to have to be meted out in court. So it isn't worth it. Now, are there some exceptions? Yes. But as a general rule of thumb, a felon cannot be in a household where there are guns. It's called constructive possession. Convicted felons can legally live or be in a house with guns only if they have zero access to them, though this creates severe legal risk under the doctrine of constructive possession. Most of the time, everybody knows where the guns are in the house, and the fact that you as a felon may know where the gun is. And this is not one of those situations to be taken lightly, because the prosecutor is probably going to try and give you 5 years for that. So this is a conversation to have with someone that does have guns in the house. I think we run a PSA, don't we? About how do you have a conversation about somebody that has guns in the home? But I think the PSA that we run is if you're bringing kids over. I guess you'd want to know that if you're bringing your children over to somebody's house. Or maybe you can do this thing. This is the toughest part, though. Instead of asking a homeowner if they own firearms, which really technically is none of your business, I personally believe that all firearms should be concealed. I think open carry people are, almost said an inappropriate word, The world does not need to know that you have a firearm unless you're law enforcement. Open carry it's stupid. It's unnecessarily intimidating to people. And here's what you are subject to, which a lot of open carry people, because they think that they're tough. I hope somebody steals your gun. I hope somebody comes up behind you. I'm serious. And then you'll learn not to open carry anymore. If you're going to carry a firearm in public for whatever reason, I'd almost rather you not do that as well, because some people are just too irresponsible. And we have seen time and time again where a police officer that is actually trained, sometimes they don't know when it's appropriate or not appropriate to pull a firearm and to discharge it. So just regular members of the public who watch a lot of internet and a lot of YouTube, I don't trust random members of the public to carry a firearm, to have the responsibility to murder somebody. I don't real feel very comfortable. Some of y'all make bad fashion choices. How do you trust somebody that'll wear stripes and polka dots to also have a gun in public? You know what I'm saying? Don't trust those people. I would rather people not display their firearms because it's too much risk. But if you're going to have a firearm, please keep it concealed and conceal it well if you have to. If you believe that you need a firearm to go to a specific place or venue, here's what I would suggest. Take my advice with a grain of salt. Don't go. If you think you need a gun to go to a certain place, don't go at all. And if you must carry a firearm, then take it to a place in which you would never think in a million years that you would need it. Good rule of thumb. All right, we all satisfied there with all of our answers and responses? Let me go to the YouTube chat, see what y'all got going on. LaRon Taylor's telling everybody his business says a Kimber 45 ACP subcompact 1911 used to be in my car at all times. Oh, that's another one. Don't keep your guns in your car. Don't keep your guns in your car. Don't keep your guns in your car. I got to make a song. Don't do it. Because when your car gets broken into, high likelihood, you're downtown, you park overnight at the Amtrak station, you go to a sporting event at the Fiserv Forum or at the Panther Arena or some other place, and you get your window smashed in, they are looking for your guns. Not a good idea. Your car gets stolen. We probably have 5,000-6,000 vehicles get stolen in the city of Milwaukee every year. Not only do they have your car, they have your gun. And I'll bet you, dollars to donuts, you probably have some identifying information in your vehicle. You probably have something with your name on it and your address on it. I need you to think about this for a second. I want people to exercise an abundance of caution in a time and in a city where crime is way too high. Sometimes y'all make yourselves easy targets and victims. Don't do that. Don't be an easy victim. You have your firearm in your vehicle gets stolen. They have your car, they have your gun, they have your address. Not good. They get the car, okay. They have identifying information about you. All right, that's one thing. But at least your gun is on your person or it is at home. That is just so stupid. Now, here's the other great thing. They steal your car. They got your gun. Oh, I think I'm going to commit an armed robbery with your gun. You haven't reported the car and the gun stolen yet. They commit the armed robbery, and don't let it be a felonious armed robbery. Do you know that, little side note here on these felonious armed robberies, because a lot of folks don't know this. You get in the car with somebody. Maybe you know them very well. Maybe you don't know them very well at all. They go into a liquor store. They say they're going to go buy a 40 ounce of beer. They'll be right back. They go into the liquor store, they pull that weapon, yours, because they stole your vehicle, on the clerk. The clerk then shoots the person that's trying to rob them, and they die. You're going to get charged with homicide. You go into the liquor store with them, let's just say you want to get a pack of gum. If people even buy gum, do people still chew gum, by the way? They do, Xavier. Okay. I haven't chewed gum in a long time. Yeah, I just don't chew gum.
You don't like having fresh breath?
My breath is naturally fresh. It smells like rose petals and love.
After a long day of no eating?
After a long day of no eating, my breath, it smells like heaven.
Interesting.
Yes, it is. I'm very special in that regard. My breath is beautiful. At
Definitely
least
one of a kind.
that's what they tell me. Call me sweet breath daddy. You go into the liquor store, they rob the liquor store. The clerk ends up shooting the person that's robbing the liquor store. Guess what? There was a homicide committed in the act of that robbery. You now, as the innocent person, are going to get charged with homicide as well. It's a really crazy law, so just be very, very careful who you're involving yourself with. You keep your gun in your car. Your car gets stolen. They have your firearm. They go and they commit a homicide. They leave the gun at the scene. The police get there. They discover the gun. They run the serial number. Guess what? You're going to get arrested for homicide. You may have had your car stolen and you don't even know it. Your car is stolen. Your gun is in the car. They use your vehicle as a getaway car. They go and commit a homicide with your gun. You're still rocking out to the Van Halen concert at the Fiserv Forum. You listening to Van Halen. You don't know what the hell is going on. You're partying. You're dancing. You're having a very good time. You don't know what's happening. You're out with your friends, thotting it up, listening to Van Halen. Party, rocking out. They just stole your Chevy Malibu. Now they cruising down Water Street. They're about to turn onto Michigan. They see a couple of white folks walking down Michigan, right near the parking structures for the 3rd Street Market Hall. Remember, you're at the Van Halen concert. Bobbing your head, jumping up and down. You're loving life right now. Got a $14 beer in your hand. They out cruising the streets in your Chevy Malibu, and they got your 45 ACP in their hand, and they shoot 2 white people. You don't know. Your favorite Van Halen song is coming on right now. Loving life. You're moving and grooving. Swiveling your hips. Next thing you know, your vehicle. Firearm is recovered. You throw the gun out the window. The gun is still registered to you. It's not reported stolen. You're about to get arrested for murder. I'm just saying, I said all that to say this, including finding a Van Halen song on the fly. I'm really impressed with how quickly I can find music. Sometimes I amaze myself. How would I put, so what I just did, Xavier, in the segment I'm doing right now, like how would I put that into a show plan in like an Excel spreadsheet? Like how do you do that? Like do you know how you do that? How you put together a show plan?
Something that's just randomly happened like that?
Yes.
You
So
know?
if I'm planning this show, like before I get in the studio, so before 9 a.m. when I'm putting together the structure of the show, like how do I account for that? I'm just, because you're the producer, you got to know this stuff, right? How do
Yeah, well, I mean, you would just write it in. Oh, so during this part, when I say this sentence, I'm going to start fading in the Van Halen music. You know what I mean?
But I didn't know at 7:30 this morning that I'd be playing Van Halen at 10:30.
Well,
okay.
That was just random. So
yeah,
something like that, a random occurrence like that, you can't really put that in your, what's that thing you're talking about? The planner?
Show plan.
Show planner, yes. Shots fired.
If you do a radio show, and a few of you do, I'm not necessarily talking about people that do radio shows here, but just in general in life, if you're a radio shower, if your show is predictable, it sucks.
That is true.
Yeah. Argue with your mama.
That's why I love this show so much. We could be talking about policy, and then we could be talking about
ass.
Yeah, bubble butts.
Look who's called. Look at this here. Look. I'm gonna take a break. Come back. Don't keep your firearm in your vehicle. I got other stuff. What's this other thing I want to share with you? What is this? I have a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, I got some doozies. I got the most racist. There's a process in America, and everybody follows the process. It's a set of rules. It's like a protocol. It's bureaucratic. It's governmental. It's corporate. It gives access and permission. It's one of the things that we follow. It is the most racist thing. It is so foundational in America. I want to tell you, but I don't want to give too much away because you never even thought about it. I found the single most racist set of rules, laws, and policies, and it falls under one umbrella. And I bet you didn't even know that it was racist. I didn't know that it was racist, and I sniff racism out like a bloodhound. Sometimes you blacks are racist. Oh, yes, you can be. I've seen black racism. It's not, sometimes it's funny, but it's not good. You're supposed to be non-racist. when I worked at WNOV many, many years ago, we had a cleaning lady. So everybody that worked at WNOV was black. Occasionally, we would hire a white salesperson, but I assure you they'd be fired within a week. I don't know why or how, but they just got fired. Poor things. But they didn't hire white people. They just didn't. I don't care. White people go find a job somewhere else. Go make a job. Not my problem. Why are you trying to work in a black business anyway, whitey? But the only white lady that we had at WNOV cleaned the toilets. That's it. That's the only job. But then think about this. Think about office buildings and think about even the 3rd Street Market Hall. The cleaning crews are not white people. They're usually minorities, right? So doesn't it make sense that a black-owned business that they would hire a white person to do the low-wage, menial, arduous work of cleaning the bathrooms and cleaning the toilets? I just found it very ironic. But I thought it was kind of racist because they wouldn't keep white people in other positions very long. But the white cleaning lady, of course, they loved Louise or whatever the hell her name was. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Don't touch that dial. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Black Arts Fest MKE is back and bigger than ever. Come out Saturday, August 1st at the Summerfest grounds for a full day celebrating black culture, African heritage, music, art, fashion, food, and family fun. Enjoy live performances from Big E, Hollywood the Classic, Cold Drink, MJ, Star Red, the Lattimore Brothers, and don't miss the headliner, Dave Hollister. Celebrate the foundations of hip-hop with the legendary Boogaloo Shrimp, a.k.a. Turbo from Break It, the Divine Nine Party, a Michael Jackson tribute by Brew City Soul, a gospel music celebration, and the Black Hollywood Experience featuring Jamal Gravy Woolard and Benzino. Compete in the culture contest with a $500 cash prize awarded in the categories of African heritage hairstyles, fashion design, and fine art. Bring the whole family for horse rides, the Kids Zone, a Corvette car and bike show, and more. Tickets are on sale now, plus there are discounts for seniors and youth. Credentialed veterans and kids 7 and under are free. Black Arts Fest MKE, Saturday, August 1st at the Summerfest grounds. Get your tickets now at blackartsfestmke.com. And for more info, follow Black Arts Fest MKE on Facebook.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Reggie, to clarify, I meant an armed robberies are felonies. Even strong armed robberies are felonies if you rob somebody, even if you don't have a gun. But if a homicide is also committed, the person that is an accomplice is also getting charged with murder, is what I meant to say. So if you go into a liquor store with someone and they who you are with robs the liquor store, and the person you're with that is robbing the liquor store gets shot and killed by the store clerk, you're getting charged with their homicide because you're party to a crime where a homicide was committed during a robbery. That's what I meant to say. So even if the store owner is acting in self-defense and they kill your friend in the commission of this armed robbery, you are getting charged with your friend's murder. Okay? All right, now, let's talk to Derek. Derek, you're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sherwin. I want to ask you a question. It was very good what you did. The question I have for you, I don't know if Wisconsin will stop and identify. They had that. But other questions, I've known people who, a lot of places, the policeman comes to your place and he smells liquor under your breath or something. Then it changes everything. The same thing what about marijuana or anything else like that. That changes everything.
So are you in a motor vehicle when they smell the marijuana and the liquor?
Yes.
The interesting thing about marijuana is the odor of marijuana is not probable cause. I think there's some variation by state, but the odor of marijuana is no longer probable cause to search. And also having a tail light that is out is not probable cause for a pullover, FYI. But liquor, yes.
Okay. What about another thing that was really good what you did as far as cars? What about that if you're walking down the street? Do you have stop and identify laws in Wisconsin?
No.
Or,
if you're walking down the street, if you're just walking down the street minding your own business, that's called a Terry stop. They don't have the right to ask you who you are. You don't need to produce any documents or any papers if you were just minding your own business in public. Now, if you are interfering with an investigation, there's a whole bunch of other variables. Those are a little bit more ambiguous, but no, you do not have to identify yourself. If you are suspected of committing a crime or if you fit a description of a crime that was committed, that's a little bit different. But if I'm just walking down the street, minding my own business, I do not have to stop and identify myself at all.
Okay.
All right, then, Derek. Anything else you need? Make sure you have your identification on you, Derek, and don't drink any alcohol before you get behind the wheel of a vehicle. All right, now?
I travel throughout the whole country, and this is very helpful hints because we've had some young people, and unfortunately, some of them, like you said, have. They mentioned one other thing too. If you're at home, just say you get into an argument with your brother, and your brother is fighting with you or something like that. They said before you call the police, try to resolve it peaceably, because once a policeman hears there's a gun, there's a knife, people are fighting, they're going to come in there and they may not be too nice to those, to you or your brother or your, let's say domestic violence thing. They may not be too kind to you, whoever the situation is. Just throwing that out to people, because they were telling people here that, because they've had several people lose their lives because I'm going to call the police and they'll settle the issue. They said, no, try to resolve the issue, domestic thing within the family, because otherwise when you mention there's fighting or anything, there could be, especially if you throw out there's a gun or a knife or fist fighting, police are going to come in there with, it may not turn out very well. Just throwing that out too.
Thank you.
You still there?
No.
Okay. Just throwing that out to people. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, if I'm arguing with my brother in my house, that's going to be a real short argument, and the police are likely not going to get called. Now, if this is a situation where it's a boyfriend and a girlfriend and a husband and a wife, that's a little bit different. Also, for it to be domestic violence, both individuals have to have residence there. Because my brother doesn't live with me, I will kick my brother's ass. Let him call the police, and then maybe I get arrested, but it's not going to be domestic violence. Both people have to have residence at that place for it to be considered domestic violence.
They say that you have a family thing, and they were the ones that getting you and brother got into an argument, and you wind up having to physical altercation with your brother.
I'll kick his ass. Yes, I will. So go on. I kick my brother's ass now, and then the police come. I might get in trouble for the ass kicking, but chances are the police will be like, "Oh, Sherwin, your brother probably deserved to get his ass kicked. All right, and they take my brother away." But it's not domestic violence if my brother doesn't live with me. They got to be a resident of my house.
Okay, that's the way it works.
That's
okay.
the
But
domestic part.
But they were saying that that's the one that a lot of police are afraid about domestic violence anytime they hear about
Man and a woman usually, or two lesbians, because lesbians, they fight too. Gay men don't fight nearly as much as the lesbians and the straight couples.
But if you got or even a parent is fighting with their child or something, that could be. And we had a situation here where somebody was, and I'll speed it up, and I won't hang up for long.
Yeah, please.
Okay, they had a situation here where this person was. He was like I said, I think he suffered from some kind of a emotional disorder or whatever, and I'll speed it up. And and his mother had and his mother called the police. He says, my son is chasing me. He has a knife in the hand, and she was screaming, and he's lunging into her. And then all of a sudden the police get there, and he opens up the door. They shoot the knife in the hand, and they wound up shooting him. And that's what they were saying. If you have any kind of domestic, it's just try to resolve the issue before you call the police. Because anytime,
how you gonna resolve a situation when somebody's chasing you with a knife or a gun, Derek? You got to call the police for that now. Now, when it comes to a parent and a child, there's a lot of like a parent can kick a child's ass, and that's not necessarily domestic violence. Maybe it's child abuse, but a lot of times the parent has some latitude to kick a child's ass, and that's not going to be considered domestic violence. That's going to be considered discipline. You need some discipline. Oh, that's enough out of you.
Just asking. I was just asking the question. The person has a knife in their hand, and they're chasing you around the house with a knife in their
Derek,
hand.
I'm gonna chase you around the house. It's gonna be some domestic violence. Where do you live, Derek? I need to come over. I need to talk to you in person.
Well, I don't live in Wisconsin.
You better get here.
Oh, the kidding? I would choose death over living in Wisconsin.
Hey, that's not very nice. That was racist against Wisconsin. Who the hell do you think you are in Colorado? Ain't nothing in Colorado but mountains and people with purple hair. Colorado's a stupid place. You got dumb people. You got dumb sports. You got the Denver Nuggets. They suck. What else you got in Colorado? You got the Colorado Rockies. They suck.
They suck, but we got
Denver Broncos. They suck. Colorado sucks. It's a stupid place. It's for stupid. Don't nothing come out of Colorado but bad decisions and prostitution.
Oh, now you're being mean. You're being mean, Sherwin.
What do you think about Victor Marx?
You don't know who the hell Victor Marx
is. Yes, he
is.
does.
Who's Victor Marx?
I know
who is it?
He's a Republican running for governor.
Why you get him started, Xavier, on stuff that he actually knows about? Because now he gonna sit. I'm just trying to see how long I can keep this conversation going. Because it's literally, and look what time it is too. I got him over here wasting time talking to Derek.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what he thought of him, just to gauge what kind of person he is.
Well, I would never vote for him. I would never vote for him. This no more than I would vote for the lady who won. Julie Gonzalez, who ran for governor. She was a Democratic socialist. I wouldn't vote for her. I didn't vote for her at all.
Just hurt Xavier's feelings with that. All right, Derek, I gotta go.
Okay, but okay, I'm glad you brought that out as far as when you're walking.
Derek.
Okay.
I gotta go.
Okay, well, go. Bye.
What was that? What is?
I don't know. That's the person you like to talk to him. That's why I wanted to ask him about Victor Marx. I mean, if he knew about that, then I don't know. I don't even know what to draw from that conversation.
You need to put this in a show plan. So that call with Derek needs to be
in the show plan.
Yes, sir. We've got to be able to predict
I'll
Victor
submit.
Marx.
I'll submit it by tomorrow.
All right, I got to take a commercial break. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Don't go anywhere. Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flysshf.org and ask for an application.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
When something breaks in your apartment, what does Wisconsin law actually require your landlord to fix, and how fast? We don't care what happens in Colorado. We never should have bought Colorado from Russia or China or Mexico. We should give it back. I hope we saved our receipt.
The Spanish.
Nobody want Colorado. Xavier said we bought it from the Spanish. We can give it back. To help sort it out, Jill Kastner, a supervising attorney at Legal Action of Wisconsin who focuses on Milwaukee housing law, told public investigators how she interprets the law. Here's what renters are owed when repairs are needed and what's on you to handle. What repairs are my landlord responsible for in Wisconsin? Under state law, your landlord has to keep the place in a, quote, reasonable state of repair. Not perfect, but reasonable state of repair, and fix anything that affects your health and your safety. Kastner says the test is whether a problem is solely cosmetic. If the carpeting is pulling up or molding, the landlord is required to make the repair. She said if the carpet is in ugly color or showing signs of wear, he or she is not required to repair or replace. How fast does a landlord have to make repairs in Wisconsin? For most repairs, state law says a landlord has to move, quote, promptly, but sets no deadline. There are a few exceptions. For example, under a separate state law, landlords have 5 days to fix a broken smoke detector after getting written notice from a tenant. Under Milwaukee's essential services rule, when heat drops below 60 degrees, which is very cold, water is out, or there's a serious safety hazard, landlords have 24 hours to start the fix, but 120 hours to finish. Hot water outages get 72 hours to start and 84 hours to finish. For non-emergency code violations, Milwaukee's Department of Neighborhood Services typically gives landlords 30 to as many as 90 days to repair an order. For everything else, the word, quote, promptly usually goes by a reasonableness standard, Kastner said. It's more reasonable, for example, to take longer on a furnace repair if the landlord provides a space heater in the meantime. So basically, landlords ain't got to do nothing. Quote, but if the landlord takes a week to even have a repair person come out and look at the furnace, that's not reasonable. You always pay for damage you or your guests cause, according to the State Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection. Kastner's example: if your kid leaves the door open and a mouse gets in, you buy the traps. If mice are coming through holes in the foundation, then the landlord buys the traps. State law also puts small, low-cost repairs on the tenant, but also in municipalities without their own housing code. Kastner draws that line at anything needing real skill or costing more than $100. Milwaukee has its own housing code, so Kastner reads the rule as not applying there, meaning those small repairs stay in the landlord's responsibility. What can I do if my landlord won't make the repairs? Report major defects to your local building inspector. In Milwaukee, that's the Department of Neighborhood Services, which can order repairs and set a deadline for your landlord. If the place stays unlivable, you may be able to reduce a portion of your rent until it is safe and comfortable, a process known as rent abatement. 4 Milwaukee legal aid groups, including Legal Action of Wisconsin, put together a step-by-step guide to the rent assessment process that walks tenants through documenting the problem, sending written notice to the landlord, requesting a city inspection, and calculating a fair reduced rent. Separate resources and lists point tenants to free legal help, mediation services, and city housing agencies. Never withhold rent fully, the guide warns, since this will lead to your eviction. The city of Milwaukee has another option called rent withholding. If the city has already ordered your landlord to make repairs and the deadline has passed, you can apply to pay your rent directly to the City of Milwaukee Department of Neighborhood Services instead of your landlord, and the city will hold the money until the repairs are made. For more information, contact Legal Aid. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. When I come back for hour 3, we are going to discuss the most racist thing in all of America. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way.
improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to healthcare and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 101.7 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, and WGKB Waukesha.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Boy, this show's been flying. It's already the third hour.
I'm ready to go out and thought this weekend.
You know, I'm a thought too, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think, isn't there a Brady Street Festival this weekend?
You know, I didn't know, but I guess
Central.
I guess I'll find out because it'll be right around the corner from my house.
I would suggest you go early because, you know, the freaks come out at night.
Oh yeah, I mean, I already have some plans with
Okay.
some ladies, so you know.
The one you showed me the picture of?
Oh no.
Oh, you got another one? You're a hoe. What you shushing me for? We're on the radio. Everybody's listening.
Well, maybe I don't. Actually, you know what? I don't think they listen to this kind of radio because they're very
they're
aggressive.
dumb.
Oh yes, and
What are you talking about? Because they're white. White people listen.
Oh, I don't
Here,
know.
watch this. I'm going to show you something. Hey, whites. Call in right now. Watch this.
Under the age of 35.
I don't care what age the whites are. Hey, white. Let me get a. Can I get a whites? Do it like an auction. Let me get a wide, 833-212-117 Make it a wide. Hey. They're not calling.
Yeah. I know Alan's your residential white.
I got more than that. They're just nervous. They're shy. That's all it is.
Yeah, probably.
I can't get one white.
Maybe they'll hear in a little bit.
833-212-1017 whites only. It's whites only calling hour. You better take advantage. No blacks. No blacks allowed. Only whites. 833. Nope, they're not calling. Whatever. So I'm not going to do a Hughes Views 414 broadcast tonight. No, thanks. Y'all ain't going to burn me out. Ain't doing no damn 2 shows a day. I got to revise my schedule. That Monday through Friday is rough. I'm not going to tell you which day, but one day I went out for happy hour, came back and did the Hughes Views broadcast, and I was a little tuned up. A little bit. I met some friends at 4 o'clock. We went to the tiki bar at the St. Paul Fish Market. Thoughts Central.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Thoughts inside, thoughts outside, thoughts on the sidewalk. It's so thoughty. I love on a nice warm day, preferably a real nice Sunday fun day, St. Paul, the tiki bar at the St. Paul Fish Market at the public market, that top-notch thought. I should put together a list of top thought Milwaukee locations. A lot of rooftops, a lot of patios. Thoughts love to be outdoors. I'm gonna do that. Maybe we'll do a segment. You know, we used to do a segment called the Milwaukee Experience, which I believe I'm gonna be bringing back. Maybe I should do the Milthati Experience. Just a listing. If you're just trying to thought yourself to death, or also if you like going out by yourself, which you got to be a certain kind of person for that, because there are some places that are much more conducive to going alone and hanging out and having a good time. Like if you want to meet somebody, or if you want to go to a place where a lot of folks go that are there by themselves, I got a list of those places as well. All right, let's see if we can get us a white. Hello, white lady. How are you today?
I'm non-binary, but I'm good. How are you?
Wow, I got a twofer. Look at that.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on today? What are your plans for this Friday? What are your weekend plans?
The River West 24. I am one of those folks.
Oh,
So,
you're a
I don't know,
granola cruncher too. All right, I love your kind.
But yeah, thank y'all. This was fun. I was like, I can't hear the number. I got it. Okay, so yeah, I was trying.
Well, thank you, non-binary white person. Can I ask you a question? If you don't want to answer, you don't have to.
Okay.
Who is your preferred candidate for governor of Wisconsin?
Ooh. So I'm gonna say who I am, if that's okay. I'm Amy Donahue. I'm running for Congress in Congressional District 4, and my preferred candidate is Francesca Hong. She has earned my vote. But I wish we had ranked choice voting.
That is becoming a very popular thing amongst folks that are on the left. So who is the current, Congressional District 4, who's the representative you're running against? It's a Republican, I'm assuming, right?
No, I am primarying Gwen Moore.
Because I was about to say, I know it. I should have known that, but it didn't click that someone would be primarying Gwen Moore. Why are you running against Gwen? Is it because she's a Zionist?
Yeah. It's because she won't sign FOXA bombs, and also I'm a healthcare worker, and so Medicare for all is a really big thing for me. And I believe in just having choices and having two choices, not the lesser of two evils thing, is not a bad thing in democracy. So
I do agree with you. Amy Donahue, how can people find out more about you and your campaign? Do you have a website or a phone? I mean, you might as well take advantage because you clearly aren't advertising it a lot, so you might as well take advantage of this free media.
Sure, yeah. AmyDonahueForCongress.com. I am updating my website this weekend, so it's all grassroots. People having conversations. I'm in the community, and yeah. So I was like, yeah, thank you for the free media, for being a radio station that I just have fun listening to. And I was like, somebody else is going to call. No, really? All right. I'm doing it because I had a minute. So.
Well, thank you. And maybe I'll see you at the River West 24.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of friends that are doing it.
Yep.
Have a good day.
Sweet. You too. Thanks.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye-bye, Amy. Man, I got a doozy with that, didn't I?
Yeah, that was really good.
I got a non-binary white who likes ranked choice voting. When she said she was running in the 4th district, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way she's running against Gwen. I'm thinking I have my numbers mixed up. Because the 4th district now used to be the 5th district when Tom Barrett was in the House of Representatives. I got my wires crossed. So we got a white, I can't say lady.
Non-binary.
She's non-binary. And I pulled up her website. Oh, definitely non-binary. Absolutely.
Oh.
There's a picture here. Oh, definitely.
What's her name again?
Amy Donahue. Yep, definitely. She's got on a blazer. Looking all non-binary-ish. Going to be at the River West 24. I know a whole bunch of people is going to be at the River West 24. It's literally a 24-hour bike ride throughout River West with little parties and little tents set up. And it's all night. It's a whole thing. A whole vibe. It's the best people watching you'll see outside of State Fair because River West, that's a place.
Oh yeah.
It's I once upon a time, and I would highly recommend all young people live in River West at least for a little while. I lived in River West a long time ago, back in the good God, I think I signed that lease in the year 2000. So
you like hippie chicks?
Within reason. I like the free-spirited nature, but there's other aspects of them that I could do without.
Like what?
I think you know.
Sometimes a little hair is nice.
Absolutely, on your head.
Or other places.
Eyebrows down. Nothing. Just...
I guess
we're not having this conversation because I didn't like what I heard from you yesterday. This is a matter of personal preference. That's all. You like what you like. I like what I like. Nobody's right. Nobody's wrong. It's just a matter of preference. Now, what I said I was going to do this hour was talk about something that I discovered that I think has flown under the radar here in America. And it is simply the most racist set of prescribed regulations and rules that we don't even think about, or at least not in this context. And what I'm trying to do, little by little, day by day, is reveal that the entire foundation of this nation, why it is the way it is, why it operates the way it operates, and why progress just seems so slow. And like with Amy Donahue, she wants the Medicare for all. Why we can't have things like universal health care, because there was a cohort of individuals in Congress, and this goes back better than 100 years, because presidents have suggested a system of universal health care going back to the 1920s, but members of Congress said, no, we cannot have it because we don't want black people to get it. That is why we don't have certain things that could be of great benefit to many Americans. Here's someone who is not a benefit to many Americans. Hi, Bob.
Hello, Sherwin. White politicians don't count as a white person calling on your show. They don't count. They don't count. And number two, I'm waiting for this most racist thing in this country for you to say. What is it? I mean, you prolonged it quite a while, and I want to know what it is, man. You know, and I have a lot of other things to say, but first, that's it. I just want to hear that racist thing.
All you're doing is prolonging, and I'm going to get to it, man.
Well, I wish you would get to it.
Hold on, Playboy. Don't rush me. You're going to call my job and rush me. No. You're on my time.
Here we go now. Look,
don't play with
my era was way better than your era. I had Richard Pryor, Muhammad Ali, Red Fox, the Kennedys, Martin Luther King, and many more. Plus, I had Red Skelton. I bet you don't know Red Skelton. He happens to be white.
I know who he is.
Oh, you know Red Skelton. Oh, and I had Michael Jordan. Y'all don't have hardly nobody,
Michael
man.
Jordan? Wow, I didn't. Who's that? He must be an old time guy. I don't know who Michael Jordan is. Who's that?
Oh, man. Your era was not like our era. The only thing that makes me blink is when I see Carrie and Rhea. They make me wish I was young.
Good Lord.
But then I say to myself,
pervert. You old dirty old man. They make you wish you were young. You need to be with women that's your own age. You need to go to the Senior Citizen Center and find you somebody with a walker. Stop playing with these young girls, Bob. These young girls give you a heart attack.
Look, Sherwin. What do I say when I think of Rhea and Curry and women like that, Carrie? I had my day. Sit your butt down and watch Bonanza, or play your sax, or play the keyboards, or cook some food. You had your day. Shut up and sit down. That's all you got to say to yourself. You had your day. That's what I say to myself, Sherwin. You don't let me finish. You just went off. Now, if you would allow me to listen to you say about the worst, most racist thing in this country.
Bob, I told you I'm going to get to it now.
Well, you don't have that much time.
I got as much time as I say. I'll be here all day if I want to. I'll stay here till 7 o'clock at night. Tell me when I need to. I'll stay here. I'll stay all weekend.
There you go. I know one question they never ask people, and that is, they always say, we need this war to end. Why don't this war end? We need this war to end. Why don't this war end? Instead of asking this question, how would you, Bob, end the war? They don't ask that question. I know how to end this war. And I'll say that next time, but I'm just listening to with you. You know, we actually in war, man. We done went to the people 13. That's serious business. It's a war, man.
Bob, can I make you lunch? I want to make lunch for you today.
Well, you know, I don't want to go on. I want to hear what you got to say about the racist
No,
country.
I'm gonna get to it. Don't worry. But I want to make you lunch. Can I make you lunch? You eat?
No, I don't want you to make me nothing because you may put something in it. Because I just can't wait till I got 2 months to get that thing on my arm. And if I don't see your teeth, you will be flying at your chest. So I better see them teeth, you know, at all times, because I'm going to be looking for you at them restaurants. Now, don't have me go on. You know I'm shouting this radio. Why are you making me go on? Right, start.
Hang on. That's enough. That's enough.
All right. Talk to you later.
It's enough out of you. Now we got Al. Might as well. Hello, Al. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I think Bob needs him a woman in his 40s just to keep him drained once a week. That'll keep him calm and give him a hot plate. He's probably got a lot of built up.
Al, ain't nothing in there. If ain't nothing to drain. Even if he did try to drain, you know what it would sound like? Drip.
Well, you know, even if she air him and she get him off, that'll keep him calm. Now, the guy called in from Colorado. Colorado was very clean, but they have a lot of Somalians there. I've been to Colorado plenty of times. But I would tell your producer, X, he needs to go get him some Stud 100.
Huh?
That'll give, Stud 100. That'll give him some more pound town time. Just like a little numbing. You ain't going to be able to find it. You might be able to find it in that store on the east side. But you need to get him some Stud 100. And maybe go to some theme rooms in Chicago. But I just think he needs to elevate what he do. And maybe if he talked to all these women and put it all on the table, they can do this thing all together and everybody can be flushed and brushed and had a good tune-up and a good oil change and a 48-hour glow. Here's the thing we need to understand. Racism is from people being stupid because they never use logic. They never use common sense. Whether you're black or white, you can't blame migrants for you being dumb. You can't blame them for being poor. Those decisions you made in your life is on you, boo. That's something you have to deal with. And when you look at the problems we have today, it's because they're old, out of shape, outdated, and while they create all this chaos, they're sitting there raping your bank account. But when you look at racism, it's based off of people being dumb as a condom that caught 3 diseases: syphilis, gonorrhea, HPV, and chlamydia. And then when they see the leakage coming down and their jaws is looking funny, now they're sitting here blaming everybody, but they fail to realize after they ejaculated, they didn't pee. They waited till the next morning. You always pee after you ejaculate. But bringing it back to racism, racism comes from people being stupid. Prime example, they say, well, they don't breed with us. Well, look at what you breeded. Look at how they came out. Why would they want their kids to come out like that? Your kids grow up being little nickel whores, junkies, and runaways. They don't want their gene pool to have that.
Yep.
Y'all, so that's where racism has come. But if you're really upset, all y'all have to do is go out there and make some kids and just make sure the kids you make, you raise better than the first batch of kids that you failed. Have yourself a great day and do something kind for yourself.
Hey, Bob, what was the name of that thing? Al, sorry, Al. What was the name of that thing?
Stud 100.
Stud 100, okay.
Yes, you got to put 3 on the head, 3 on the shaft, and 2 on the nuts. If you use too much, it's going to be real numb. But that's for to give you extra length. And for the people who come too fast, you might want to use that. But for them, they might have to bust one first, so when they recharge, they'll have a good at least 15, 20 minutes to work the vessels up. Because, you know, some of the vessels is old. It's like truck engines with 300,000 miles. They got to warm up to rise and work and shoot. But, yes, call Stud 100, look it up. It shouldn't be no more than 9 squirts, okay? And you should do just fine. Have yourself a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
I'll report back Monday on that. You going to get some Stud 100 too? Test it out?
No.
Oh, I will.
I can't believe how explicit he was.
That wasn't that bad. He was just being, I guess he was being descriptive. You know, he was just.
I found something very racist. I want to talk to you guys about it because it's something you never would have suspected. Because I am trying to illustrate to people that race and racism has had an impact on pretty much every bit of the foundation of American life, including the eugenics program and literature written by Frederick Ludwig Hoffman. He wrote a very influential text called Race, Traits, and Tendencies of the American Negro, and basically says if you ignore the American Negro and you deny them access in public services, including healthcare, they will simply just die out, which was a part of a eugenics program that we had here in the United States that was mimicked and copied by whom? Nazi Germany. They, however, took it to the next level. So there is an institution or a set of institutions and rules that undergirds every single professional aspect of American society, and it does have its roots in racism, and it's licensing. I will give you more details on the other side. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Our telephone number, if you are so inclined, is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Game day starts here. The Atrium Sports Lounge, your new headquarters for every touchdown, buzzer beater, home run, and championship moment. Great food, great drinks, great vibes. Located in the heart of Milwaukee's Deer District at 1110 North Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Milwaukee. Be among the first to experience Milwaukee's newest sports lounge where every game feels like a championship event. Follow on Instagram at Atrium Sports Lounge MKE. The countdown is on. We'll see you soon.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At UW-Milwaukee, students don't have to wait until college to start building their future. Roar Ready lets students in K through 12th grade join in on hands-on programs across campus, from science and tech to art, sports, and more. Students try new things, meet new people, and build the skills that matter. Get started today at uwm.edu/roarready. That's uwm.edu/roarready. Are we giving away tickets to Black Arts today? Black Arts Festival MKE?
That's the lunch break today. We did yesterday.
Okay. Let's see what else y'all need to know. What's this here? Oh, here we go. American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of The Truth. For almost a full century, they've been committed to helping families protect what matters most, your home, your vehicle, and the dreams you're building every single day. That's why having the right protection in place matters. American Family helps you stay ready for whatever life brings so you can focus on moving forward. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Let's talk about licensing. I did not know this. I like finding out stuff that I didn't know, because then I'm more informed, and you want to be an informed person. So I have got, oh my God, it's everything. Everything in America is based on having some kind of a certification or a license in order to be able to work or conduct business or own a business or operate a business. And it's just a part of the whole system of making sure that people are qualified and certified to provide services. And we don't really think anything of it. In fact, don't licensing and the entire process of licensure give us peace of mind? Businesses will display their license when you walk into the establishment and they are telling you, yes, we are certified to operate. We are, in fact, above board, board approved, board certified. Here is our license. I never once thought to look into the history of licensure. One of the least discussed aspects of American legal history is that licensing has repeatedly been used as the mechanism for enforcing American racial segregation, bigotry, and hierarchy. While modern Americans often think of licenses as neutral administrative requirements, historians have documented that governments frequently use licensing systems to determine who could marry, work, travel, own a business, practice professions, vote indirectly, or even legally exist under a particular racial identity. In many cases, the license itself was not the discriminatory law. The discretion to grant the license was. It's so many things that we have to get a license for that originally had its roots in institutional and structural racism. My feelings are hurt a little bit. And here's what's crazy. Once I discovered this, I uncovered these details. Historians have been telling us, hey, everybody, licensing and licensure is rooted in racism, but it falls on deaf ears, or these historians don't get the same public access to share the details of how incredibly racist licensing is. How many do I have? I think I have 14 examples. And there's hundreds more, because some of these licenses are local. Let's start with the first one. And this one is one that I never even considered. I took it for granted. I never once thought that it would be rooted in racism. And the reason why I'm doing this segment and dedicating my part of the show to this, because I want to show to people that think that racism doesn't exist, it's a thing of the past. It undergirds the very foundations of professionalism and business right now to this very day. Now, there is a little bit more fairness in who can get a license, who can't get one, et cetera, et cetera. The criteria are a little bit more fair because we can hold those criteria to a standard that cannot be adjusted by race. But for those that say that racism does not exist and it never existed, or it's a thing of the past, or a figment of the black imagination, let's start with number one. Marriage licenses became a tool to police race. This is the clearest example. Many Americans believe marriage licenses were created simply to keep records. Historically, that is only part of the story. As marriage licensing became standardized during the 19th and early 20th century, so before that, you didn't have to have a damn license to get married, it became the primary mechanism for enforcing anti-miscegenation laws. Miscegenation is interracial marriage. Instead of arresting interracial couples after they got married, county clerks simply refused to issue them marriage licenses. That transformed local clerks into racial gatekeepers. Even more remarkable, in the state of California, county clerks literally received guidance on identifying racial ancestry because issuing a marriage license required determining whether someone was legally white. Historian Peggy Pasco documents clerks debating whether Filipinos should legally be considered Mongolian for the purposes of denying them marriage licenses. County officials openly described their job as distinguishing races before issuing a license. The marriage license became one of the most powerful racial enforcement tools in all of American history until Loving versus Virginia in 1967. Licensing offices, not the police, prevented interracial marriages. I'm going to take a break, come back and give you more. Birth certificates, occupational licenses. Black barbers were licensed out of their own profession after the Civil War. Liquor licenses, taxi licenses, hunting and firearm licenses, peddlers and salesperson licenses, business licenses, midwife licenses. All of these licenses were created to stop or to stifle black professional progress. Take a break, come back, continue our conversation. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Dreaming of owning your first home? Don't settle for a fixer-upper. Build a brand new home with Milwaukee Habitat for Humanity. They partner with first-time buyers to make home ownership possible with little to no down payment and a team that's on your side every step of the way. Even if you're just starting to explore what's possible, they're here to help you take the next step. If your household earns between $55,000 and $90,000 a year, you may qualify. Visit MilwaukeeHabitat.org to learn more.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Lady B, we're trying to answer your question because I don't even know the answer to the question. So if you go to 1017thetruth.com, Lady B is asking how she can listen to recorded versions of the show. So replay. She says,
Just go to the
Sherwin.
website, 101.7 The Truth. Click on featured shows. Click on Sherwin Hughes, and all your shows should be on there. Or you can go to civicmedia.com.
I need to know how I can listen to replays of your show 1017. The Truth app is dead, right? We don't use that anymore. It's now the Civic Media app. Is that correct? Okay, so the Truth app, get rid of that. That's GKB stuff. Don't have that no more. It's cursed. It's probably sabotaged. It probably turned into a damn virus. So yeah, the Truth app we didn't keep that. We have a new way to listen. Okay, I'm on the website right now. Where's featured shows at? Okay, it says what's
It's on the main page.
Registration, please. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. That's the name of this current show that's playing right now. All right. I scroll down. I see Watch. I see Latest, which is a bunch of articles. Here it is. Featured shows. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I see it. Zach was finna come in here and punch me in the face. Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, if you scroll down, there it is. Oh, you can watch on YouTube and you can stream it. That's kind of convenient. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes is a dynamic and thought-provoking talk show. It aims to inform, challenge, and empower its audience, making it a must-listen for anyone seeking an honest conversation about the world around them. That's not bad, actually. I didn't write that, though. But this description does not account for Al and 9 squirts. Because Al called in, and Vanessa wanted to know, well, what if you only have 6 squirts of the Stud 100? Well, then you're going to fall short. Xavier, we need to have a report back on Monday about the Stud 100.
Yeah, I might not be using that, but I got some other stuff.
Okay. You plan on taking somebody to the Pound Town this weekend?
Yeah.
All right, now.
It's the weekend. That's what the weekends are for. You know, I ain't got to wake up early on Saturday or Sunday. I can stay out late,
cool.
Dot it up.
Yeah,
have a little sleepover with a nice lady.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. How do you get them to leave in the morning? You just wake up and oh, what you about to do? Make up some excuse. All right, let's talk about racism and licensing. It's so many different categories. Birth certificates. They originally were considered, quote, race licenses Virginia's 1924 Racial Integrity Act required every live birth and certificate and marriage certificate to classify people as either white or colored. Nothing else. State Registrar Walter Plecker aggressively reclassified thousands of Native Americans as colored. He ordered local officials to alter birth certificates and marriage records. The consequences included inability to marry as a white person, inability to attend white schools, loss of your tribal identity, and loss of inheritance claims. Birth certificates became a government-issued racial credential determining your legal rights for life. Occupational licenses were used to exclude black professionals. Following Reconstruction, this one hits hard. Following Reconstruction, many southern states dramatically increased licensing requirements for professionals, including pharmacists, dentists, physicians, lawyers, engineers, architects. On paper, the standards appeared as race neutral, but in practice, white licensing boards controlled admissions. Oral examinations were subjective. Recommendations came from white professionals. Apprenticeships were often unavailable to black applicants. Numerous black physicians trained at institutions such as Howard or Meharry found themselves unable to obtain state licenses despite equivalent or even superior education. Licensing became a legal substitute for explicit racial inclusion. Black barbers were licensed out of their own profession. This is one of the more surprising examples. Before the Civil War, most elite barbers in America were black men. After emancipation, white competitors pushed for increasingly strict barber licensing laws. Requirements included sanitation inspections, apprenticeship hours, written examinations, and board approval. So all of those things that you have to do now, including in the state of Wisconsin, to get your license to be a cosmetologist or a barber, is rooted in racism. Many states created licensing boards dominated by white barbers. The result: tens of thousands of black barbers lost the businesses they had operated successfully for decades. Historians describe barber licensing as one of America's earliest examples of occupational licensing being used to reshape an industry's racial composition. Liquor licenses. Liquor licenses were used to segregate business districts. Throughout the Jim Crow South and in many northern cities, local officials selectively denied liquor licenses to black entrepreneurs. White-owned establishments received instantaneous approvals. Black applicants were denied liquor licenses upon character, location, and, quote, community standards. The licensing law itself was race neutral. The administration was not. This helped prevent black commercial districts from competing economically with white ones. Taxi licenses were used to exclude black ownership. Many cities issued a limited number of taxi medallions or operating permits. Black entrepreneurs often found themselves denied permits, delayed indefinitely, and subjected to discretionary standards. The result was that black drivers frequently drove for white-owned companies rather than owning their own businesses. There's somebody taking a picture of me at the damn window with my blue bonnet on. I'm over here entertaining the white folks. You see this dude taking a picture? Hi there, pal. Hi. Looking now, that's another one. It's another white. I put the bonnet on and all the whites come like roaches.
You're in the zoo.
Oh my God, I never even thought about that. I am an animal in a cage. They probably think I'm a big monkey gorilla. A silverback.
Well, next time when someone comes to take a picture, you should go up to the window and bang your chest.
No, that's very racist. Now, I'm going to be on somebody's social media. Look at this. Look at this N-word. hunting, and firearm licensing. After the Civil War, southern states enacted licensing and permit systems governing firearms. Officially, these laws applied to everyone, but practically, local sheriffs frequently approved permits for whites while denying black applicants access and the ability to own a gun. This fit within the broader black codes and later Jim Crow legal system designed to limit black people's ability to defend themselves while avoiding explicit racial language. Sales and peddlers license. Traveling merchants required licenses to operate in American states. Black entrepreneurs were often dependent upon peddling licenses. Traditional retail opportunities were limited. Municipalities selectively denied or revoked licenses, preventing black merchants from selling goods across county lines. Business licenses used to suppress black commerce. Now Zach is out there taking a picture. Here, photograph this. You want to photograph something? Here. During segregation, local governments controlled pool hall licenses, restaurant permits, hotel permits, dance hall licenses, entertainment licenses as well. Officials could revoke licenses based on vague standards like morality, disorderly conduct, and public welfare. Midwife licensing. Black granny midwives delivered substantial shares of births in the rural South well into the 20th century. Beginning in 1910, states imposed licensing requirements framed as public health reforms. Although maternal health was a legitimate concern, the implementation often marginalized experienced black midwives through educational requirements, examinations, and supervisory systems they had little opportunity to meet. The result was a sharp decline in black midwifery and a transfer of births to predominantly white medical institutions. I need you to understand this. When they transferred births from black experienced midwives to predominantly white hospitals, black infant mortality started to go up, and it's never come down. I'm going to take a break, come back. Zach, delete that picture. I hear you laughing. And this glass is soundproof, and I hear you laughing. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In Milwaukee County, equity means making sure everyone has a real chance to thrive. That's why the Milwaukee County Office of Equity works to help remove barriers, strengthen community connections, and support fair access to opportunities across Milwaukee County. Want to learn what they do, explore resources, or find ways to get involved? Just search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online. Milwaukee County Office of Equity, advancing equity for all Milwaukee County residents. For more information, search Milwaukee County Office of Equity online.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkuprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
Ready to take it back? Join the grand debut of Analog Afternoons at 90s 2K Cafe on Sunday, July 26th, starting at 2. Music kicks off at 4 p.m. with the Cat House Band and DJ Seymour bringing you the biggest hits from the 90s and 2000s. Grab a signature Bloody or a Sunny D Mosa Tower and get jiggy with DJ Saint Trey with special guest host appearance by Action Jackson. 90s 2K Cafe, 1103 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive in Milwaukee. Come press play on your Sunday fun day.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message.
Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
This is The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I got to tell about three bad brothers you know so well. It started way back in history with that Rob and me. My team. Been had a little horsey named Paul Revere. Just me and my horsey in a quart of beer. Riding across the land, kicking up sand. Sheriff slices on my tail cause I'm in demand.
Talking about these licenses and how it has been used as a tool of racial oppression. Voting. Poll taxes were not technically licenses. However, historians note that they functioned similarly. A paid poll tax receipt became a credential that you needed before a citizen could vote. Combined with literacy tests and discretionary enforcement, these requirements disproportionately disenfranchised black voters until federal civil rights protections intervened. Here's how it works. If you can have an impact on the quality of a child's education, and you can segregate children by race into certain schools. If you have a segregated city, if this part of town is where the black people are and the black businesses are and the black children live, and this is where the black schools are, you can reduce the amount of resources that they get for things like literacy and literacy programs, etc. And then you can require not just a poll tax, but also a literacy test. So if you can have an impact on someone's literacy, you can control their future and their destiny. And if we have a flawed formula for how we are funding schools to where the most disadvantaged neighborhoods and the poorest neighborhoods that have the lowest property values, and a lot of times those property values are low because black people live there. And here's a little juxtaposition. As soon as a neighborhood gets gentrified, what happens? The property values go up. The property taxes go up. More funding goes to those schools. When white people move into black neighborhoods, the value of the property goes up simply on the appearance of race, and the chances that white people may also have children, they are going to have more money to invest in those public schools. So when you talk about people who want to get rid of the parental choice program, this is the paradigm that they are trying to end. The reason why property is valued less in the black community is so there are less dollars and resources for those black schools. So the black children do not get, in a segregated city, you can defund and devalue the quality of that education in the black neighborhood. But once the neighborhood starts to change, what happens? All of the institutions begin to improve. And when people are saying, and they are running for governor of the state of Wisconsin, they want to end the parental choice program, they are saying if you are black and you live in a black neighborhood, you are destined and doomed to poor public schools. You are not going to be able to go to a private school because the reason why private schools exist is to keep you out in the first place. And what the parental choice program does is it pierces that veil and allows black children who are relegated to poor performing schools and in poor neighborhoods with schools that are underfunded. It allows those black families and those black children to attend the schools that whites have always wanted to keep them out of, and that's private schools. And then they'll say stuff like, well, what about the separation of church and state? The government is not establishing an institution of religion. By paying for a child's education and the parent makes the choice, that's not the government saying you have to go to a religious school. It's crazy that people oftentimes quote as a way to end the parental choice program as a separation of church and state, and they don't even know what it means. The government cannot establish an institution of religion. It has nothing to do with educating a child. We allocate a certain amount of money for every child in the state of Wisconsin to get a K through 12 education, okay? The parent makes the choice, not the district, not the government, not the president, not the mayor. The money is there for the child. The parent makes the choice on where the child goes to school, not the government making the choice and making a requirement that a child attends a religious school. So if you're going to use the separation of church and state in your fallacious and racial argument to end the parental choice program, at least know what you're talking about, you numbskull. Freedom Papers, a license to exist. Perhaps the most extraordinary example predates the Civil War. Free black Americans had to carry their freedom papers, basically a license. Without your freedom papers, you would be jailed. You would be presumed enslaved. You would be sold into slavery, and you would be forced to prove your legal status in a court of law where black people had no legal status and standing. In effect, free black persons' liberty depended on carrying government-recognized documentation and proving they were legally free. No comparable documentation was required of white Americans in this nation. Pass systems under slavery. Enslaved people frequently needed written permission or, quote, passes from enslavers to travel beyond the plantation. These passes functioned much like temporary travel permits. Anyone found without one could be detained, whipped, or returned. Although not a government-issued license in every instance, colonial and state laws recognized and enforced these pass systems. Remember having to get a hall pass back in school so you could move about the hallways during classes? Oh, yes, sir, I do have permission to be in these hallways. Oh, no, don't beat me. Convict leasing through licensing. After Reconstruction, some states licensed private companies to use convict labor. Because black Americans were disproportionately arrested under discriminatory laws and sentencing practices, this licensing system enabled private businesses to profit from coerced labor that fell heavily on African Americans. This became a major feature of the convict leasing system in the late 19th century. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate you all very much. There will be no Hughes Views 414 broadcast this evening because I'm going to be in the streets thotting it up. However, you still can subscribe to the Hughes Views 414 YouTube channel. And on that note, have a good weekend. The lunch break is up next.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance.